Hi, I'm Kieran Jones, implementation consultant for Native in the UK, and I'm joined today by Evie Walker from Interquest. Evie, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Evie. I work for Interquest as project and operations consultant, and as part of my role, I am the systems administrator for Native.
So, Evie, you've been a client of ours for some time now, but what was it that you were initially looking for when you decided that you needed to start looking for some new VMS tooling within Interquest?
So the reason that we were looking for a new VMS tool is that we had a tool in place, but it wasn't flexible enough to our needs. There were many changes with our clients based on their requirements. We wanted to be able to react effectively and preempt their requirements.
And why did you eventually select Native as the right tooling and technology partner for you?
So when we were going through the tendering process, there were a lot of different providers who had new and exciting tools and ways in which we could use them. But we went with Native primarily because they had the functionality and you have the exciting features and things like that. But primarily it was the cultural alignment that we found the most important part. And being able to work closely together as we would be moving forward is essential to being able to work effectively together.
So once you'd selected Native, what was the scope of the initial implementation?
The initial scope of the implementation was our 4 incumbent MSP clients. They were already using the system that was in place, and so there was a change in transition management project going alongside the implementation. I found Native support in that invaluable, understanding what the needs of the client may be. The tool that we had in place previously had been in place for many years, so there'd never been a transition needed in the past. So definitely appreciated their support in that respect.
Great. Well, you've touched on part of my next question anyway, but hopefully there's a bit more to add. And it was during the implementation, how did you find working with Native as a company?
What I found essential during the scoping process and the tender process, I should say, was obviously being able to work closely together. And I found that really came into its own during the implementation, being able to have candid conversations, being able to have open understandings about the different areas in the business and with our clients that may need extra support was invaluable. There was also obviously this was pre-COVID, so being able to sit down and understand the needs and appreciated definitely a lot of your time that went into that.
And how about working with and configuring the tool itself as a completely new to Native system administrator?
Yeah, it was a baptism of fire, I should say, going through that process with 4 clients at once. But being able to work closely with the team, understanding as a business the time pressures that I had. I mean, at the time, I was working on this project and also another project, so Native really went above and beyond to make sure that we hit our deadlines. And it definitely felt like we were one team working towards a shared goal, as opposed to Interquest working with Native as a supplier.
Oh, fantastic. It's always nice to hear. So now, having had some more time and experience with us, how do you find working with our team and us as a company on a day-to-day basis?
Well, I've already mentioned obviously how pre-COVID working together worked really well, and I think the big takeaway from the lockdown and having to work remotely was that the contact that we've had hasn't decreased. In fact, if anything, it's increased. We have more channels of communication now. Our catch-ups are just as regular. They're just virtually instead of in person now. I find that there's a good understanding between us as to if there's something business critical that comes up, I know exactly who to reach out to, and I know that I'll be able to get a response and support on it as soon as possible.
Excellent. And how about the tool itself? You obviously had that baptism of fire where you were very new and you had to learn it all in one go. But now that you're a bit more familiar with it and you work with the tooling itself every day, you support an MSP team, how do you find the operation of the tool in a day-to-day basis?
I find that the understanding that I gained through the training and through the implementation process has served me really, really well throughout my sort of administration path so far. When there's been situations where I've hit a wall, and it could be that I've forgotten something or I've done it once and so therefore it's not come up. It's always been a positive experience reaching out, because I can say to you, I might have forgotten this, but where could I find information on that? Or I'll just know where to find it from the information that's been provided. Otherwise, when I have had to raise a ticket, it's been turn around a couple of minutes.
Excellent. And well, that's again all good to hear. I was going to ask you if there's anything in particular you like, but you've been really particular, so that's perfect. But I guess that brings us on to what's a little bit of a hot topic at the moment, at least in the UK, and that's IR35. So I guess what are your overall plans around the handling of IR35?
So we've partnered with an IR35 firm who are supporting us in designing the process for IR35 internal structure, and also helping us in completing the assessments through a tool. It's really interesting how we've been able to use their expertise as an IR35 expert and the functionality that is existing within Native. It means that we already have the tools in order to record the information and make sure that's fully documented, alongside ensuring that we have the up-to-date legal advice from this firm.
So I mean, you've almost touched on the point there as well, but will you be using our compliance framework within your assignments to further support that process?
Yes, we will. So what we'll be looking to do is use the IR35 assessment tool to establish what the decision is, and then using Native's compliance modules, we'll be able to make sure those are recorded for our compliance purposes.
Perfect. So that brings us to the end of the questions I had for you today. Thank you so much for joining me today. It's great to hear your experiences with the tool and with the company, and we'll talk to you again soon.
Yeah, speak to you soon.